Deion Neon Sanders, Primetime. This video is not about being a fan, and fan goes both ways. Whether you have a deep hatred and you're connected by emotionalism, or you're almost borderline homoneurotic for someone. None of that here, sir or ma'am. But this is about Deion Sanders. You know, growing up as a child in the early 90s, but being born in the 80s, there were a lot of polarizing athletes. Iron Mike Tyson, Air Michael Jordan, the great Wayne Gretzky, Ken Griffey Jr., David Justice, Bo Jackson, Randy Johnson, if you guys don't know who he is, the big unit, the Nolan Ryan, Cal Ripken, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Barry Sanders, Emmett Smith, LT, which stands for Lawrence Taylor. The list goes on. Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather. Pick one from a sport. I'm sure you'd have a debate how polarizing they were to your child, or if you was a teenager or an adult at that time, pardon me. You just understand that the era was heavy because that was the beginning stages of marketing, and though they'll tell you about social injustice being such a huge platform now, and they criticize the athletes years past. Some of them over criticize, and when I say some of them, I'm talking about the liberal mainstream media. They love to demonize the men of the past and the athletes of not having a social input. That's because back in the 90s, it was about making that cheese, that bread, that fetty, that loot, the money. You know what I mean? Charles Barkley lets you know, I am not a role model. Young men and women, go ahead and YouTube that. Charles Barkley's I'm not a role model state, which I appreciate now more than ever because he was telling you the truth. This man threw people through windows and spit on a girl, which was accidental, but they'll never tell you that. But he wasn't my role model. I had a father growing up, obviously. You know, big praises from the Most High for giving me a father, because I know a lot of folks didn't have one. So, but I don't want to tarry too long or become long-winded. This is about Deion. In that era, there was a few players that could do multiple things. You know, they were very strong and fast. They knew how to hang, and they had the mental acuity in their sport, such as Michael Jordan, who was very versatile. He didn't just dunk on people, kids. He also knew how to pass. He played extravagant defense, and he was coachable, which is very hard to say about some athletes. I don't want to mention names. You got me. There were other athletes who may have had struggles battling the limelight and balancing it on their shift, their work field or work court. But this guy Deion, man, he knew how to be the talent on the field, on the diamond, because I'm gonna get to that, how he played both sports, and he also was an entertainer. So because of that, if you have not necessarily a hunger for people to entertain, but you have an appreciation, then Deion was probably number one on your depth chart when it came to being, you know, just a fan of sports at that time. You know, you even had studio wrestlers like Ric Flair and Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. All of them guys, man, you could put them in a bucket as a child. But now that I'm a man, I feel like giving this guy his roses while he's still alive. Recently, he was, I don't want to say granted, but he took the job at Jackson State. Do I think Deion will do well? I think he will. He will not become a statistic like a Magic Johnson, though I'm not coming at Magic, or even a Larry or Isaiah, because I feel like they did well as coaches. They really did. And a lot of NFL guys are doing pretty well. The head coach down for the Tennessee Titans right now, I want to say his name's Rabel, or starts with a V. He used to play with the New England Patriots. He's doing well. He can interact with the players. He's not so far removed that he's speaking Spanglish to the youth. You know what I mean? He's talking football. So dare I say, I think Dion will be part of that ilk of young coaches because, number one, he's polarizing. With the era having so much access to the internet, they can just type in Deion Sanders, and though some of them seem to be old and there's a little bit of snow because it was probably recorded on a VCR tape, Deion balled, man, on both sides of the football and special teams. And those of us who play football, we understand that the person who wins the special teams battle normally wins the game. So if part of that is your punter is fearful of kicking it to number 21, or you accidentally kicked it to number 21 and it becomes housework, TD, that's possibly going to give your defense some momentum as well as your offense, because it gives them a blow. It gives them a break. On offense, he was a reverse nightmare for the defense. Most corners can't keep up with this guy. There's been rumors that he even clocked a 4.2, 4.1 at Florida State. Oh, Deion was also a track man. Bobby Bowden said he would just go to track meets and smoke Division I track athletes. Now, I went Division I AA, and then I ended up getting my degree from a decent-sized Division II. Big ups to all you guys who run track or compete at a high level, whether it's throwing the javelin or the shot put, hurdles. That takes time and effort. So when you see a guy like Deion, who's a cornerback and also a center fielder in baseball, to see him walk on that track and then dust men who have been putting in months of work, that ain't nothing but a gift from the Most High. So yes, this video is obviously for the viewer to look at all the different clips. And big ups to all of the people that I've seen these clips. I don't want to act like it's all me. YouTube is a beautiful thing, homie. You know, it can be used for some positive. But Deion was the first athlete that I can honestly say that was able to balance. And he failed for a short period of time. If you followed his career, he could balance being an athlete and also being an entertainer. On the baseball field, obviously, you know, he wasn't kicking in all-star numbers every year, but he was threatening. But if he would have concentrated strictly on baseball, it's not even a question, man. He's a Hall of Famer. Once he gets on the base pads, he's going to steal. It's not even a question. When he played for the Yankees, which was a small period of time, he balled out, man. So when I hear these athletes of today, and mainly your Twitter victims and attention whores, and then you hear the liberal sports media consistently throwing LeBron James at us, saying that is he the best athlete of such and such? Is he the best athlete of this era? Listen, man, the debate between him and Mike is almost nauseating. Can we all agree? But now it's to the point where they're making me go back in time. And this could have been easily part of the series, Oh How They Forgot. But no, this is just about giving brothers they roses, man, while they here. Alright? LeBron is not the athlete that Deion Sanders is. I'm sorry. I'm going out on a limb when I said I know. Because it's like you're coming at a so-called God. Little G, by the way. He is not a cornerback. He is not watching the best athletes in the world. That being Randy Moss at a time, Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice, Isaac Bruce. I don't need to go down that path of who Deion covered. But then on the flip side, where he's waiting for a punt, you do understand that there are men that are above 250 pounds running at the speed of a 4.4-ish, 4.7. I don't care if they're even under around a 4.8. He hits you, you're going to feel that. To watch him duck and dodge and then outrun people at an angle, you ain't going to tell me that there's even a debate when it comes to who's more athletic. Let's go to baseball. I know LeBron could have been a mixture of Ken Griffey, and he probably could have been the big unit, Randy Johnson on the mound. That's what they'll tell you. That's what they'll tell you about Anthony Davis and Mike Trout and all these other guys and Aaron Rodgers. They all could have did. This guy did it. Period. He did it. Then there's enough evidence that yes, Dion had Olympic track speed. They'll tell you LeBron and such. And Michael Jordan even is a victim of this error. Oh yeah, Mike could have been a track guy. Well, I don't know if he ran track at Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Dion ran track. Then if we go back far, like they do with LeBron, letting us know that, oh, he played football and he was a state, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, Dion actually was a state all-county, but all-state basketball player, throwing it down in the all-star games. A lot of us brothers have played hoops growing up. None to the level that these guys are on. When I say these guys, I'm talking about the Chris Pauls and Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook. Phenomenal athletes. We get that. But let's give Dion his respect, man. And lastly, coaching. This man coaches men of color and men who are at risk, pardon me. Off the field, before he was even doing the reality show. A lot of people can find in Dion almost like a counselor. He and Tony Dungy is who players who have these huge egos will sit down and converse with. That's because Dion can meet them halfway. What you want to talk about? Money? I blew a lot of money. I also had a lot of money and probably still does. I'm speaking as if I'm Dion to the listener. What you want to talk about? Girls? He messed up 2 marriages. What you want to talk about? Drugs? I don't know if Dion necessarily tasted or snorted, but I know that he was around it, and he may have been under the influence when he tried to take his own life. So when you want to talk about the highs and lows of being an athlete, who better to talk to? This man had the world in the palm of his hands, man. Speed, power, because no matter what you say, he had to be strong enough that when he's jamming those wide receivers at the line, any of you brothers who play tight end or wide receiver, just watch the game. You understand how strong some cornerbacks' forearms are to shut you down at the line of scrimmage, like a Mel Blount, like a Deion Sanders, like a Darrelle Revis. You know what I mean? Big shout out, man. Played against that guy, man. I'm really proud of him on the field, and I hope things clear up for him that he could just walk into the Hall of Fame. Canton, Ohio, which I think he will. But strong men, lower core. You have to be strong. You have to be able to jump. Your twitch, when it comes to following some of these receivers, has to be almost freakishly athletic. You can't just be normal to be an NFL corner. So we're going to give this brother his due, man. Think about all the Dion copycats growing up as a child, y'all. You know what I mean? Charles came close. Obviously, Rel Reeve. Champ Bailey. You guys can leave in your comment section who you think. Was it better than Dion, or at least in that ilk? When they all get interceptions, or even the big boys when they pick up a fumble, don't they dance? Not saying Dion was the first, because there was the Icky Shuffle. Martin Longneck Hanks used to do some old funky dance. The Gobble Gobble, the Tennessee Titan, Houston Oiler dance. We saw all that growing up, man. But when Dion did it, it was different. Everything that Cat do is different, and I'm sure he's going to coach different. So before it starts to be questionable how I'm hyping this man up, I just want to end it by saying, yeah, take time to appreciate your childhood, those of us who are over 30. And if you have a younger buck who's into sports, man, talk about Dion, man. You know what I mean? He definitely was one of the first that we seriously could sit down and say, athlete? Like, as a person who is just gifted, like fast and be able to jump high, why do we only talk about Mike and Braun? And I seen, how can I forget? Bill Russell got involved with a back and forth with Kendrick Perkins. All these basketball heads. The NBA is probably my favorite sport to watch, but it's coming to an end because I feel like they disrespect the past, and more importantly, they try to alter our thoughts by just repetitive hype. You know what I mean? We're tired of it. So yeah, man, from Florida State to the Atlanta Falcons, to the San Francisco 49ers, to the Dallas Cowboys, which is my squad, to the Baltimore Ravens, and the Redskins, at one time the Washington Redskins, to all the baseball squads, that being the Yankees, the Reds, and obviously, how can I forget the Braves, to becoming a mogul for, athletes, what to do after their money. We appreciate you, bro. You know what I mean? We really do. And obviously, I got a dad, so no, I don't need Dion to be my father. I don't need him to be my brother. I feel like I got a lot of brothers now due to longevity. But I appreciate you taking up some of my time as a child. And we're going to get these dudes their roses, man. Y'all tell me what you guys think. This is your boy who did it, man. With a new series. Give them the roses now. Give them the roses now. All praises to the Most High. I'm praying for all my brothers and sisters out there to have a safe weekend. Don't get caught up in all the jargon, all the BS. Relax, man. Know who's in control. I'm out.
You know, ever since I turned pro in 1989, when I signed the dotted line, it was strange. Those things changed for the better and for the worse. So I called